Hello all, welcome to Coffee with Marci. I am here with Lisa Lieberman Wang. She is the #1 best-selling international author of Fine to Fab, and she is also the creator of NAP Coaching Academy. So welcome to the show.
Oh, I'm excited to be here. Thank
awesome
you.
to have you. So Fine to Fab, I love the title of this and I want to hear exactly what that means. Please tell us.
Okay, well, fine is how I used to feel. And I had gone through a challenge for years. I had an eating disorder. And people used to say to me, "How are you doing, Lisa? How are you doing?" And I'd go, "I'm fine." And they'd say, "How are you doing, Lisa?" I'd say, "I'm fine."
Right.
And finally I'd turn around and I'd say, they'd ask me again, and I'd say, "I'm fine. I'm effed up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. Leave me alone."
Yeah.
And I realized I'd much rather be fab,
Yeah.
which is fabulous, awesome, beautiful. So I no longer do fine, but
Yeah.
I do live in fab.
I love that. I love that. And I think a lot of us can relate to that because, you know, when we say fine, we're really not just fine.
Right.
What the
Well, we
heck
are
is that?
fine.
We're fine.
We're fine.
We're effed up, right?
You know, and then it got years later, somebody would say to me, "How are you doing?" And I'd say, "Fine." They go, "You're fine?" I go, "No. They go, "Which one? Yours or mine?" "No, you're fine. I'm really great."
I love that. I love that. Now I'm going to think about that every time I hear it. So, and the NAP, the coaching academy that you created, what exactly is that?
Well, NAP is actually cumulative 50 years of education between me and my business associate, Will Barth. We have both spent over $1 million learning about human psychology, neuroscience, cutting-edge technology, and what's out there to understand people and why we do what we do.
Right.
And we created NAP Coaching Academy in a one-year program to give people the tools and resources and skills to be able to help people change quickly. You know, they say that we can program computers to do what people do.
Yes.
Well, the same way we can program ourselves to do what other successful people are doing.
I love that.
And the NAP Coaching Academy is the roadmap to be able to really create change, and we're certifying people as NAP and NLP, which is Neuro-Linguistic Programming, practitioners.
Wow.
And it's amazing. Yes.
So you can become a coach through your program.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so I want to talk more about that in just a little bit, but I want to get back to your book.
Yes.
So what exactly inspired you to write this book?
Well, you know, it's interesting. I had no interest whatsoever in following this path. And I think that's what most people don't understand. Like, they think that, okay, I'm just going to go out there and I'm going to be helping people and do this. For me, it was more like it found me. You know, it found me, and it wasn't like I'm going to go do this when I grow up and that's what I want to be. I had had several successful businesses, one business that's done millions for us, and we're very grateful about it. Pretty much was semi-retired, was looking for something more for myself. I ended up, I've been with Tony Robbins for 25 years now.
That's incredible.
Yes, it is. And he helped me 25 years ago, and I've continued to serve him and a senior leader for him and so forth. And I'm also a platinum partner, which means that I invested to be privately mentored with him for a year, which is like $150,000 for the year to be with him. And it turned out that during that mentorship, one of his head trainers knew me for so long, for at that time 17 years, said, "Lisa, you're playing small. You're supposed to be helping more women."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Lauren, I don't play small, so
Right.
I don't know."
It didn't sound like it.
I don't know what you're talking about. And she says, "Yeah, you're supposed to be helping women." And we were in Egypt at the time, and I said, "No, I'm not going to do it." And I said, "I teach people how to build business, build themselves." So I was kind of in the same arena, but not. Like, I was still helping people, but more towards business versus personal.
Right.
And she said to me, "No, you're supposed to do that." And then a year later, Marci, and I know you'll appreciate this from our own talk, almost to the day, I wake up in the morning and I come downstairs and I call my husband Handsome, and I say, "Handsome, I'm supposed to save lives."
That's beautiful.
And I said to him, "I don't know what it looks like. I don't know how I'm going to do it. But you need to take over our businesses. This is what I'm going to do." And I started Fine to Fab. And what happened is, I had been studying neuroscience for so many years, understanding, I wanted to figure out why I did the things I did to myself. Like, why would someone so smart do so many stupid things to themselves, you know? I couldn't get it. Right? And I said, I needed to understand. And then I realized, you know, not everybody, a lot of the women I'm meeting, they're beautiful, they're successful, they have everything going for them. But privately, they're self-sabotaging themselves, and they don't know that they're not the only ones doing it, and they think that they're terminally unique, that they're the only ones. So I'm like, you're not. And I started thinking about it. I said, well, a lot of people will will themselves. Like they'll say, well, I'm going to have the willpower to not do this to myself anymore. So I chose food. Some people choose alcohol. Some people choose spending. Some people choose sex or gambling. I mean, what is the dis-ease that we're choosing to feel better, right?
Right, yeah.
So I said, okay, well, so I realized that willpower doesn't work. Do you know that, right?
Yes, I do know that, yes.
And so many people go, I'm gonna will myself, I'm gonna use food. I'm gonna will myself not to eat that. And then 10 minutes later, the whole thing's gone. And they don't know how. It was like,
and then you feel like failure.
yeah, you failed, right?
Yeah.
You failed. And I said, you know what? I want to be able to help people overcome self-sabotage. And I want them to do that in this very easy way. And through the studying I've done, I found why willpower doesn't work. And it was 7 steps to do it.
Yeah.
And that's how this book got born.
So the 7 steps, is that the 7 secrets to fab?
It is the 7 secrets to fab. Yes.
And what exactly are those?
Well, the first one is acknowledging fear and doubt. You know, so often people don't even realize they're doing it, right? They're going about things, they're doing really well, and all of a sudden they find they put the brick in front of them and they don't realize that it becomes a boulder.
Yeah.
So acknowledging the fear and doubt. You know, one of the things is sometimes we have to have that uncomfortable moment, and most people just don't want to have that moment, right?
Yes.
So knowing what it is. The second is taking inventory of life's lessons and beliefs.
Okay.
You know, I remember growing up and I had all these things, like I thought I had to be perfect.
Yeah.
You know? So because I had to be perfect, if I couldn't be perfect, I might not do anything.
Yeah.
But as a child, would you agree we'll do a lot of things imperfectly?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
And if we had to be perfect, we never would have learned how to walk.
No, absolutely,
Because we fall over and over again.
Exactly.
Right? We never do
And what the heck is perfect anyway,
right. So what happens is, you know, taking inventory of life's lessons, but here's what happens for most adults. They're still running old programs from children where I'm not perfect because someone told them you're not smart. You told them you're not pretty, you're not capable, you're fat, whatever it is. And then they take these lessons as a young person. 55% of your beliefs are formed by the time you're 5 years old.
No, that's incredible.
By well-meaning teachers, preachers, guardians, and parents, right? So now if somebody says something to you when you're young, and it's not until you're 12 to 15 that you start questioning it, and some people still own it in their 40s and 50s. And if we don't start looking at where it came from and disarm them, we live in pain for years later.
Wow, yeah, so true.
So we end up repeating it. So we have to acknowledge it. And then the other thing is that we have to break the trance.
Yeah.
You know, we have to break through the limiting beliefs. Like, what is it that we're saying? Where does it come from? And is it true?
Yeah.
You know, maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
Yeah,
but, you know, I had someone say to me that when she was younger, one of my clients said to me when she was younger, they actually told her she was mentally retarded.
Oh my goodness.
And she actually was not mentally retarded. Then they said it was ADHD. Then they said it was dyslexia. So every year there was something else wrong with her. They gave her all these labels, so she grew into believing. And she says, well, I decided to own dyslexia because I heard they have a pretty good IQ, and then this meant this. And I was like, why did you need to own any label? Like, there's no label you need to own other than you're fabulous. That's the only one you need to own, right?
Oh, that's wonderful.
And then after we break through we have to break through toxic meanings and emotions. Like, what does this mean? And then who gave it to you? If there's 7 billion people in the world, do we need to listen to that one person that disarmed you and own that? Or do we have to look at the other billions of people that maybe have a different opinion? Because if we're going to try to please everyone, we please no one.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And then we have to break the trance.
Yeah. So
we don't need to live in it and be able to, we have to interrupt the patterns so that we can go back. Realize that every human being goes back to a default. So, you know, in the book I explain it further as well as through webinars where it's kind of like if you look at the unconscious mind, remember the iceberg model with Freud?
Oh yeah.
They'd have this peak, right? And the top is the conscious and then the unconscious. Your unconscious mind doesn't know the difference of fact and fiction. So if you tell it something often enough, it believes it to be true.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have to break the trance so that we don't keep going back to default and believing we're not capable of things, right?
Right.
So after breaking the trance, we have to go through uncovering unconscious patterns and behaviors, which is part of that iceberg pattern, and understanding that this has been our default. And how do we change that, right? So that we can actually create a new foundation and we don't have to keep going back to familiar or fine, right?
Yeah, right.
And then finally, it's practicing peace. And I think peace is really the biggest piece a lot of people have a hard time with because it's peace with yourself.
Right.
Most of the people that are sabotaging themselves are trying to get their gratification, their acceptance, their approval outside of them.
Absolutely.
And when you're trying to get it outside of you, you're going to end up always be losing, because one person will love you, the next one might not show it the way you want it to.
Right.
They wanted it. The next one's going to say you have to be something different, so you'll never be happy. So you need to make peace with yourself and learn to love yourself just as you are. And then practice gratitude is a huge piece. And gratitude in the sense of just being grateful for this moment, grateful for what you have, not what you don't.
Right.
Grateful, I remember there was a time I was so in dis-ease with myself, it's disease, that they said, I was told you need to be grateful. I'm like, what am I going to be grateful for?
Yeah, exactly. I think people have a real difficult time with that.
Yeah, it was like, I couldn't even think. So I was like, okay, I can start with this. I'm grateful I have 2 eyes.
Yeah.
I'm grateful 2 hands, 2
Right.
feet. Some people don't,
Right.
Like I had to start with that. It was
Absolutely.
like, I have a roof over my head. I went
Right.
to Africa and did some charity work there. I am grateful I have a kitchen, I have utensils.
Yeah.
We were cooking on a tire rim.
Wow.
For them, for 1,000
Incredible.
kids in
Yeah.
a school. I was like, I'm grateful for everything. I'll
Right.
never complain again. But gratitude for everything. Because you know what? The universe doesn't give you more until you accept what you have.
Right.
And then the
Oh, I like
last
that.
one, the last one, which was the hardest for me, believe it or not, was celebrating. Because no matter how far people get, if you're living in a world where you always want more,
Right.
we forget to celebrate what we have.
Why do we do that? Why do we always want more?
I think it's conditioning. I really believe it's conditioning of striving for the next thing. I got that,
Yeah.
but when you get there, celebrate. Yay,
Yes,
this is awesome.
exactly.
And then
Celebrate it.
you go to the next one. Yay! And
Yeah.
to me, I'm celebrating that I'm here with you today.
Thank you, Lisa. And I am so blessed that you're here today and sharing with all of us what it is that you do, empowering us, breaking down those walls, getting to the core of why we do the things that we do. And I mean, it sounds to me like you've got it figured out, and I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
And so I want to talk about the NAP technology and your workshop also. It sounds incredible. So please share with us.
Okay. Well, I'll start with the workshop. What happened is I started a program where I help people go through a 10-week transformational program to a happier you. And it really is that. It's really about learning how to live an authentic life, happy, healthy, and free.
Yes.
And I say that because for me, I was very inauthentic for 13 years. And I have 25 years of not hurting myself, which to me is amazing.
Amazing.
That I could even say that.
Yeah.
And I mean not hurting myself. I used food to hurt myself. I used relationships to hurt myself.
Yeah.
I used, learning, like spending money. I kind of like kept switching dis-ease with myself.
Right,
And I realized
right.
this is not really working. I haven't resolved it. I needed to change it.
Yeah.
And so it's been 25 years, and I feel very blessed to do that. And what I realized is that in doing it, there was certain things I had to do that I couldn't find the help for. And that's why I spent so much money looking for the answer to what's wrong with me, is because everywhere I went, I couldn't get it. Traditional therapy wasn't working for me because I felt like it was a scab.
Yeah.
And I'd go in, share what's wrong, cry, and then pull the scab off, and I'd go out raw, start again,
Yeah.
and I'd come back the next time, and I feel good and start talking. Then next I'm back again. I was like, oh no, this is not working.
Right.
I was like, I need something different. And and I wasn't looking for a life coach, and I wasn't, because that most of them don't actually have education. They just decide to be one with a 3-day weekend or something.
Right. Right.
And I was like, what do I need? I needed something different. I wanted to be able to give people what I was looking for and couldn't find.
Love it. Yeah.
And in the 10 weeks, we work on the most important relationship you'll ever have, and that's the one with yourself.
Yeah.
And learning to like
The
yourself.
hardest one.
Everybody's like, if I find a man or I find a woman, I'll be
Exactly.
okay. Why don't you find this one?
Yeah.
Find
And
this one.
you find that one, then you may have that good relationship you're looking for.
and you might be missing them, right? You
Yeah.
miss them because you're looking outside of you
That's
to
the other
fix you.
thing. Yeah. Missing that.
It absolutely is, because most people looking outside for gratification, that you need to learn, if you don't have it first, you're never going to get it from somebody else.
So true.
So we work 10 weeks on your relationship with yourself. Then we work on we work a very different approach. It's mind, body, spirit. So we have 6 people on our faculty. I have them work with a nutritional consultant, learning the language of their body,
Right.
getting their gut health in order. A lot of people don't realize there's as much serotonin in your stomach as it is in your head.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
if you're
I've heard that
depressed and
recently.
dealing with anxiety and other things, we can take care of it with your stomach. And
Wow.
if I'm working on the head, I need someone to work on the stomach. We have a nutritionist for that. And then what we do is during a weekend event, we bring in all these amazing, amazing people that are as accomplished as I am, they're also on TV. We're all over publicly, whether it be ABC, NBC, CBS, and I bring in a doctor who teaches how their physical health affects their mental health.
Yeah.
You know, I bring in a business expert and also somebody who's modeled who has overcome cancer when he's 8 years old, lost his leg, who went through, has 27 years of sobriety, who went through drugs and everything else and has sobriety, all these things, teaching modeling and rituals and how to sustain lifetime change. We bring in a femme transformation expert, getting women back into the femininity, because a lot of women are trying to fit in to what they think is a man's world when it's really a lady's world.
Right.
Ladies world. And we need to remember that we have more power in our femininity than we do in our masculinity. I want you to know that.
I like that a lot.
So we bring in a femme transformation expert to work and bring that back out. Then my husband does this amazing job teaching masculine and feminine, so we can start understanding that we didn't marry or get along. Women aren't looking for hairy women. Yeah. You know, and that's what we keep making our men. Like, you know, we keep forgetting about it.
Right, yeah.
So we work on that. And then we also, we were in relationships with money, because I found a lot of women, as successful as they are, they'll have a hard time with the money. Either they're not making enough, or they need to make more, and they have the ceiling they put on themselves, or there are people that are doing well who can do even better if we remove the ceiling from them. So we work on relationship with money. So over the weekends, relationships with everything else, and 10 weeks is with them.
That's incredible.
So that's the Find to Fab program.
Find to Fab program. And do you continue helping outside of that 10-week program?
Well, the 10-week and the weekend retreat, we have that, and then we have ongoing support if they want and other things. But the really cool thing that we did is we created a tribe, and there's a community of all these different people.
Awesome.
And it started with just women, but I do need to say we went to men, because the men started coming, well, what about me? What about me? Yeah. And I had one gentleman come to me, and he said, I need your help. I said, you don't understand, my videos say, hi ladies, and he says, he was a Marine, he goes, I have enough testosterone, I can deal with it. And so he became my first male client.
That's awesome.
And he actually said his wife told him that she saw more progress with him in 2 months working with me than 25 years with all the other stuff he had done.
Wow.
It was amazing. Yeah.
So, what happens? We read the book.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Then we go through the program, the 10-week program.
Well, we actually have an interview process. I don't take everybody.
Okay.
So if they go through it, I also have a webinar they can go to see help. We'll set up a consultation. And interview them. And I say interview because here's what I found. I'll only take people that I know I can help.
Okay. Very good.
Because there are people that actually, this is going to sound funny, have more vested in staying sick than changing.
Okay.
And
you can see that through...
In
a consultation. Okay.
Okay. 5 minutes. If they're really not serious about creating the change, then no matter what, they're going to win.
Right.
So I want to win. Yeah. And the only way I can win is that they have to be.
And you want to win. You want to help them.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. It.
Yeah.
It's like you have to participate in your own rescue.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There is no pill that you can take. There's no easy way out. There is a lot of work that goes into it.
Absolutely. But it can be fast.
Yeah.
And painless.
Yeah.
And fun.
And so rewarding.
Yes, very rewarding.
Right, right.
And then what I found a lot of times, Marci, is people would go through Find to Fab and their lives have transformed. Like I had one woman who was in corporate making a 6-figure income. Her whole life changed. Yeah. She came to me thinking her daughter was not grateful and all this other stuff. We found out, okay, I'll work with your daughter, but I have to work with you first. Yeah. Because she was the challenge. Okay. You know, apple didn't fall far. Right. And it turned out that we worked on her. She did so amazing in the sense that she learned to love herself. She released 40 pounds. It turned out that her relationship with her daughter got better. So we just worked on mom. We never worked on the daughter. Wow. And then the relationship at home with her husband got better. And then her husband calls me and goes, what did you do with my wife? I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, she won't fight with me. I said, is that a bad thing? Well, no, it's not a bad thing, but I don't know what to do. Right. I said, well, because when's she coming back? I said, I don't think she's coming back. No. And I said, did you like her? He goes, no, but at least I knew what to do. He turns around and he goes, okay, now how can you help me? Because she has a better relationship with my daughter. I want what she has. She's always happy. I don't know how to do this. He became my second client as male client. And it turned out that became a thing. Like women go through a program and then all of a sudden their husbands wanted to go through it. Yeah. It's very funny to just watch this transition. But what happened is with that change, this one person I'm talking about, her life changed so much, and she just really found herself. And that might sound funny to some people, but she was living inauthentically before.
Absolutely.
And she was working for a
makes
company.
sense.
They didn't have the integrity she had. It was incongruent with who she was. And this shift, she turns around, I want to do what you're doing. And I was like, where do you go? And I said, I don't know where to send you. I've been trained by 50 masters and mentors over the years, and invested almost $750,000 to learn how to do all this stuff.
Right.
And I'll give you a list if they're still alive, you can go. And she says, no, you have to teach me.
Yeah.
And I said no for 2 years, and then all of a sudden my partner Willard was sitting there and he said, we can teach him. I go, what do you mean we can teach him?
Yeah.
And it was one other person with her, and it turned out that we put in 1,000 hours to create this amazing one-year program with NAP Coaching Academy to give people every form of psychology, going back to the 1600s, whether it's somatic or humanistic or cognitive, whatever was going on, so you understand where people are, what they've experienced, as well as what works and doesn't.
Wow.
And then giving them the tools and resources to create change. And we created it so easy with this SMART NAP, a system of 5 steps that create change in any individual, lasting change quickly. Where a lot of times, traditionally, Marci, people spend 5 years in therapy and still not get where they'll get in a couple of sessions with us.
Amazing.
Sessions, not months.
Yeah.
And then what we did is we created 12 viruses, like a computer, right?
Okay.
12 viruses where people come because it's an addiction, they come because they're dealing with depression, they come because there's a loss. 12 things, and we give them like 20 things to do for every 12 that you can do to help fix somebody to get them through the journey. So they literally are learning how to transform people's lives quickly and easily with the systems we created.
And then they become an NAP coach?
They get certified as an NAP and NLP. We teach neuroassociative programming and neurolinguistics.
Okay.
Coach, exactly.
Yeah. And
as
so
a practitioner.
And then that's a career for them.
Well, it's not just it's a career that the one person I was telling you about actually now makes more in 1 month than she did in 3 to 4 months working for corporate.
Unbelievable.
I have another person that started with us. She's actually made 750% more income in 1 year in her own business than she did in 15 years of all the businesses she had. We had a doctor come to us who had a practice that within 1 month of applying, she says, I'm helping them medicinally, but she wanted to help more mental, because she realized a lot of the stuff was compliance. We had to work on their thinking, not just on their physical.
Yeah, right.
You know, went through the program with us. We're in the 10th month because it's a year program.
Yeah.
Within 1 month when we had her out there, because we're not just that, we actually added a business plan to this. We have a 3-year business plan for them to walk away so they can build a 6-figure income.
Right.
1 month, guess how much she made?
I don't know. You're just going to have to tell me.
$45,000 her first month.
Unbelievable.
Her first month.
All right, I was going to say 50, so I was almost
It's like I was so excited for her.
Yeah.
And it's like just 1 month.
Yeah,
It
1
was a
month.
And know what the
Life-changing.
You know what the average coach makes?
Mm-mm.
$28,000 a year.
Really?
Average life coach makes $28,000 a year. And you know, most people aren't successful because here's what happens: most coaches are wanting to serve. I had a similar challenge when I started, in the sense that I wanted to serve people, and I've been serving for 25 years for free.
Yeah.
For free.
Right.
So I actually had a conversation with Tony Robbins, because I know him intimately, as friends, and I said to him, when I made the decision to do this, I said, how am I going to charge for something I've been giving away for free at that time, 17 years?
Yeah.
He said, Lisa, if you're so bent on giving it away, scholarship somebody into your programs. And I had to get my whole faculty to agree, because none of us would get paid.
Yes.
And I said, okay, every year we're going to scholarship someone through the program, and we did.
Wow.
And what was amazing about it is I saw myself, and I had to make sure the new practitioners coming up through the ranks would understand, you can do charity, but charity has to begin at home. People will not pay attention unless they're paying.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Right.
We need to have them invest in themselves, or we're not serving them.
Right.
And then we're not serving you, and we're telling them that you're not valuable, and nor are they.
Right.
So it's learning to charge for your services, but here's what you're
a
going
hard
to do.
thing.
But here's what you're going to do. You're going to promise results.
Yeah.
Because if you can, that's why I said I'm going to choose if I'm going to work with you, because I'll promise results.
Right, right.
You know.
Wow, there are so many things that you have told us about and offering. And all right, so I want to first, we've got the book, the program. Please just tell us one more time a list of the things, how we can get involved,
Okay.
and yeah, so life-changing things happening here. So tell us, Lisa.
Absolutely. So the book you can get on findtofabbook.com.
Okay.
Or Barnes & Noble, or Amazon,
Okay.
or shop.com. It's all over the internet. You can get it everywhere.
Uh-huh.
Okay? If you want a signed copy, you got to go to findtofabbook.com.
All
Because
right.
then I'll sign it for you
Okay,
and
awesome.
send it out.
Uh-huh.
Okay. If you'd like to watch the webinar, and that's like a $97 webinar, but I knew I was coming on the show, and I asked them to make sure I had a domain to send out for us.
Oh.
So it's 7 Secrets to Fab.
Oh, that's
You know,
wonderful. Thank
so
you, Lisa.
They can actually just watch the webinar and really learn more about some of the tools of
Okay.
overcoming self-sabotage.
Amazing.
Okay.
Okay.
And if after they go through that and they say, look, I raised my hand, I'm ready to change, and I want to make a I don't want to be doing this to myself anymore, and I'm ready to make that change, then schedule something on my calendar. The instructions will be there.
Okay.
To be able to get an appointment with me.
Yeah.
And my pricing, just so people have an idea, is I get $7.50 an hour. So if you're going to have a consultation with me, I want you to be serious that you're looking for help.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's free.
Right.
I'll do it for free. And then you can learn more about if and how I can help you, and
Yeah.
no guarantees during that call.
Okay.
And if you're interested in the NAP Coaching Academy, they can go to NAP Coaching Academy and learn more. And we have an amazing, amazing webinar that we now just worked on this week.
Uh-huh.
It's called sixfigurePlusCoach.com.
Okay.
And they can go there, and whether you want to work with us or not, but you want to know what it takes to be a 6-figure plus coach, you can go find out there on the webinar.
Wow, Lisa, you have so much going on,
Yes.
and it's incredible what you are doing for others. And guys, if you are ready to make a life-altering change, then you must check out Find a Fab and what it is that Lisa Lieberman Wang and her group are doing for others. So thank you so much again for coming on the show
My pleasure.
and telling us all that you're doing. And if you're ready to make a life-altering change, it's time to get in touch with Lisa.
Absolutely.
So, all right, guys, thank you so much for checking in to Coffee with Marci. I hope you heard what you wanted to hear, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.